We're going to continue looking at some one-gutturals. So 1 through 5 in these exercises were one-gutturals, and 6 through 10 are also one-gutturals. We'll be able to go a little more quickly because we've covered some basics in the first 5. So number 6 here, we have la avor. We'd recognize that we have a lamed preposition before that, so we can leave that out for the time being. So we're looking at avor, and notice that we have a hataf patach, which is a vocal schwa under R1, and we have a theme vowel of holam. So these match our cal infinitive construct. The lamed, of course, tells us that we have an infinitive construct, most likely, possibly a participle, but usually a preposition in front of a verb is going to be an infinitive construct. So in this case we have a cal infinitive construct. The lamed has a patach because it's bumping up against a hatef patach, and normally for the strong form, the katol form of the infinitive construct, we have a vocal schwa under R1, and so the lamed would normally have a vocal schwa, but it lengthens to a hirik. Over here the vowel under the lamed changes to a patach to match the hatef patach. So we have cal infinitive construct of avar, to pass over. To pass over. Number 7 is a little more interesting. We've got vaya aver. Vaya aver. Notice our vav consecutive here. We have the vav with the patach, a yod with the doubling. That tells us that we have some kind of imperfect, and so we know it's an imperfect vav consecutive. The question is, what kind of imperfect? What's our stem? And because we have the R1 vowel here as a hatef patach, the prefix vowel under the yod is a patach. That could theoretically be either a true patach, which would be a hifil, or a reflected patach, sort of a phony patach, which would be from a cal, which was originally a hirik. So we need to look at the theme vowel, and here our theme vowel is sere. The cal in the imperfect will not have a sere theme vowel, but the hifil will have an IE class theme vowel. So we're looking at a hifil here, and we might ask, well, why are we not seeing the hirik yod? And that's because in a few cases the hifil takes a sere rather than the hirik yod, and one of the cases is the vav consecutive imperfect. We have vaya aver. The jussive would also do that, would have a sere theme vowel, and the imperative will also have a theme vowel like that. So there's a few cases where the hifil imperfect doesn't have its characteristic hirik yod. So we have a hifil imperfect, vav consecutive. The yod tells us third masculine, and the lack of an imperfect ending tells us singular. So it's going to be the root avar, and he caused to pass over, or he overlooked. That's the hifil meaning. Number 8, we have ne'azav. There's a few cases where when we have a R1 guttural, in this case the ayin, a prefix of hirik will turn to a segol. The most common cases would be the nifal perfect and the hifil perfect. We also have the nifal infinitive absolute, the alternate form of the infinitive absolute, or the nifal participle. And there's very few cases of infinitive absolutes that are one gutturals that are written with the noon prefix. A participle might be a candidate, but they have comet's theme vowels. So let's take a look at what we have here. We have ne'azav. This short A-class theme vowel matches our typical nifal perfect, which has the patach as its theme vowel. So we have a nifal perfect, in this case third masculine singular, azav, to forsake, and in this case the nifal would be passive, so he was forsaken. He was forsaken. Number 9, we have ivaru. Ivaru. This looks like it could possibly be a PAL perfect third common plural, but we don't see a doubling of R2, and bait is not one of our Schemen-Levy letters that sometimes drop the doubling, drop the Dagesh forte with a vocal schwa. So we have a vocal schwa here, and so we need to check, could this letter drop a Dagesh forte? Well, it's not. The bait is not one of the letters that can drop a Dagesh forte, so we have no doubling here. That eliminates the PAL as a possibility. So our other option here is a cal imperative masculine plural of avar, and that would just be the command pass over. Number 10, our last of our one gutturals here for this set of drills. We have yachshavu. This is one of those interesting examples where it could be a cal. Occasionally a cal one guttural will take a silent schwa rather than the expected hatef patach, but the prefix vowel will change as if there was a hatef patach. Prefix vowel of patach makes us think hifil initially, but we need to check the possibility that it could be one of these strange cals. Notice the theme vowel. Our theme vowel is a vocal schwa. Well, that eliminates our hifil because a hifil will never reduce its theme vowel. And so in this case we don't have a hifil, we have a cal imperfect third masculine plural of chashav, and that is they will plan or they will reckon. We have to be careful of these. The deciding factor is that the hifil would not reduce the theme vowel. This turns out to be a cal, even though that prefix vowel is a patach, but we have no hatef patach with R1 to tell us that the patach prefix vowel used to be a hirik. This doesn't happen a whole lot, but it does happen, and so it happens often enough that we need to be aware of it. So next we'll take a look at our one aleph verbs.